After live event, report, guest this morning, and now it's no different. We've got a sports reporter joining us right now to kind of commemorate the 1-year anniversary since we lost Kobe Bryant. This is Mr. Martin Weiss joining us. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us here. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I wish it was under better circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. We obviously have been talking about this for exactly a year since unfortunately this crash happened that took the life of Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 other people. And it stings today, is still shocking. What do you think in terms of not just the sports world, but popular culture, how we're reacting to it?
Well, I think the some people will have the reaction of it still being shocking or still being hard to believe. But for me, I just think the reverberation of Kobe Bryant throughout the world over the last 365 days is something that you just can't discount. His impact that you see just across social media and then just in society, from people that he touched to people that he impacted throughout their lives to people who didn't care for him throughout his life. I just think that everybody had an opinion on Kobe Bryant, and I think that came to fruition over the last year. And now in the celebration of the memory of his life, I think it's one of the most beautiful things about him.
You're out there in Southern California, right? Have you seen any memorials, tributes still 1 year later?
Oh, well, I mean, if you can't go to the grocery store and not walk past the Kobe Bryant mural or a guy in an 8 or 24 jersey, or even the 8, 24, and the 2 jerseys for his daughter Gianna. But especially if you're from this area, have spent any time in this area. They say it's a Lakers town. It's a Kobe town more often than anything that I've experienced. I'm a transplanter. I've lived here for the past 4 years. This town loves Kobe Bryant, and I think that it was evident. And you're going to be hard pressed to walk through LA and not see a Nipsey Hussle Kobe Bryant memorial or mural. And I think it's just a testament to those 2 men and what the impact they had on this city.
Going forward, I mean, obviously this story just shook the world, not just the nation, when it broke exactly 1 year ago. And I do believe it was on a weekend. I don't remember if it was a Saturday or Sunday last year, 2020.
It was the Sunday before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it just I wouldn't say that it was put under the rug, but unfortunately the pandemic hit, and the story of the year went from losing Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter and 7 other Southern California residents to talking about the pandemic. Do you think now is the perfect time to re-spark this conversation and talk about his legacy and his life?
Well, I think anytime you have a birthday or Memorial Day such as this, which is obviously a sad one, but we want to celebrate someone's life on a day like today, I think it's an appropriate time to reflect on those things. But I'd say, like, at the end of the day, Kobe Bryant had a massive impact on people, and he was a professional athlete and touched the lives of numerous people. But I would imagine that coronavirus probably should have taken the headlines in March. And so I think that it is a good chance to kind of, like, let's take stock of everything. How do we feel a year later, especially in a world that looks radically different than it was a year ago?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you next. How do we move forward? How do we continue to honor his life, his legacy, his daughters, and the 7 other people as well?
Well, like, for me personally, honestly, when I was a kid growing up, I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan. And so when you ask me this question, what I think of when I think of the Kobe Bryant that I truly miss, it's the post-career Kobe. It's the Kobe Bryant that was like, he kind of started with the Kanye West Mamba System commercials, was like, I want more. I want more. But then you see the impact he's had on guys like Jason Tatum or Kyrie Irving or Donovan Mitchell. And just you'll hear all these stories today from all these reporters who knew Kobe much better than I did, that will say how he was just the most motivational person to all types of different people. And I think even when you think about the way that he lost his life, he was being a true dad. Like, sure, he was in a helicopter, but what parent can't relate to taking their kid to basketball practice or taking their kid to soccer practice or the clarinet or guitar or whatever your kid's passion is? So when I think of that, I think that honestly the best way to remember Kobe Bryant is, I think if you're talking about things like championships won and points scored on a day like today, you're missing the point.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the actual day of the crash that really captivated everybody's attention, but also the memorial service as well, when you heard from his wife and you saw all the family members, all the colleagues, just all the loved ones there. Just it really kind of captivated the moment. You really felt the sentiment from that memorial service too.
He sold out Staples Center for the last time, right? Like, you couldn't get, that was the hottest ticket in Los Angeles before, when tickets were available. And, teams won world championships in this city since then, 2 of them, the Lakers and the Dodgers. But I tell you, there was not a harder thing to access, to get into, than Kobe Bryant's memorial, to the point where they were locking the streets down outside Staples Center. I've never seen anything like it. Like, the closest thing that I could think to describe it, I was born and raised in New Orleans, and Mardi Gras will take over the entire city and will shut the whole city down. You can't go to work and you can't really do anything. And obviously that's a big celebration, but like this moment was a celebration of Kobe's life, and LA was essentially downtown Los Angeles was shut down. You could not get around, you could not move. This is Kobe's day, this is Kobe's time, and we're going to honor this for the people who want to come down and celebrate his life.
Speaking of, have you heard of any cities out there in Southern California, whether it be LA, Anaheim, Buena Park, anybody who's like made this officially Kobe Bryant Day or not?
I haven't, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened yet.
All right, got it. Sports reporter Martin Weiss joining us from Southern California live here on NewsNOW from Fox. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully we will be in touch again soon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, we are back out to the cabinet confirmation hearing live right here on NewsNOW from Fox. Lots of live events going on for sure.
Forecasting accuracy, so it's important that we find innovative ways to improve NOAA's capabilities when it comes to predicting weather. In last Congress, Senator Schatz and I introduced a bill called